You ever have a day start off so perfect, you just know something's going to come along and ruin it? Yeah, that's exactly what happened the morning my dad's retirement gift finally showed up. Amazon truck rolling up right on cue, sun shining, birds acting like they own the place, the smell of fresh cut grass mixing with chlorine from the next door pool. And me, I'm inside hyped as a kid on Christmas, watching my dad, Arthur Dubois, the man who literally built half the bridges in our county, fussing with his tomato plants while Grandpa Silas sipped coffee and read the paper on our back patio. The two of them framed by this picture of suburban peace that honestly felt almost too good to last. You know what I mean? But let me back up a sec, because you got to understand this wasn't just any gift. This was a pro-grade woodworking lathe, something my dad always wanted but would never splurge on for himself, not even after 30 plus years of busting his tail in structural engineering. I'd been saving up for months to surprise him on his first full year of retirement, hoping it would help him find his footing in this new chapter. That Amazon order confirmation felt like I'd hit the lottery, and I was counting down the days on the kitchen calendar. Everything about that morning screamed normal, which in Willow Creek Estates is really just code for normal until Nami Vance decides it's not. Nami's the unofficial warden of the HOA, blonde helmet hair, royal blue blazer, heels so pink they make your eyes hurt, and a stare sharp enough to cut glass. She lived directly across from us in a house so beige and sterile, it looked like a model home for people who hate fun. We were the only black family on the block, and every little thing we did, from the color of our welcome mat to the decibel level of Grandpa's laughter, was just another opportunity for her to remind us we were being watched. So when the Amazon guy, young kid with headphones, rolled up with this box, the size of a refrigerator, dropped it right on our porch, and was gone before I could say thanks. I already felt that knot in my stomach. You ever get that sense? Like, somebody's just waiting to pounce. Sure enough, as soon as Dad stepped onto the porch, wiping dirt off his hands and lighting up with this rare, honest smile that made him look 20 years younger, Nami swoops in like she's got a siren strapped to her chest. "Excuse me," she snapped, voice like breaking icicles. "What do you think you're doing?" I swear her heels clicked louder with every step onto our lawn. My dad always, the gentleman, just blinks, glances at the box, glances at her and asks, "Is there a problem, Nami?" "There's a very big problem," she fires back. "We've had porch pirates. I saw you take that package. I'm not about to let theft happen in Willow Creek." That's when it hit me. She wasn't talking about porch pirates in general. She was talking about my father. The man who'd lived on this street for 10 years, whose name was literally on the mailbox. My blood ran cold, and before I could even think, I'm stepping out onto the porch to stand next to him, protective as a guard dog. This is our house. That's my dad. That's his package. She barely looked at me, eyes glued to my father like he was a suspect in some primetime crime show. "That's a likely story," she scoffed. I saw the whole thing. Very suspicious. My father just stood there, posture so straight, it looked like he was made of steel. "Nami, this package is a gift from my daughter on my property. You're on my property. Please return to yours." If you think that worked, you don't know Nami. She doubled down, striding forward like she was going to arrest us herself. And just as she squared up for another round, the screen door creaked open. Out hobbled Grandpa Silas, 80 years old and tough as nails. "Arthur, Jade, everything all right out here?" His presence should have diffused things. Should have, but instead it made her eyes widen like she'd discovered termites. "Oh my God, there's more of you," she gasped. It wasn't just an insult, it was a gut punch, pure and simple. Grandpa, never one to back down, planted his cane and said, "Ma'am, you need to leave. This is our home." But to Nami, even a gentle old man with a cane was a threat. She lurched forward, didn't tackle, but shoved him, 80 years old, and she pushed him in the chest. He stumbled, lost his balance. Time slowed. Dad lunged, caught him just in time, and I, quiet, anxious daughter, snapped. "Get away from him!" I shouted, voice raw, and for a split second even Nami flinched. But then just as fast, she switched from aggressor to victim. She whipped out her phone, put on a trembling lip performance that would have scored an Oscar, and dialed 911. Help! There are men surrounding me. They're trying to steal packages. I'm being threatened. I fear for my life. All lies, every word. But the way she spun it, she was the innocent bystander, and we, the actual homeowners, were suddenly the threat. You ever feel trapped inside someone else's nightmare, but you can't wake up? It didn't take long for sirens to wail down the block, police lights painting our porch red and blue, 2 squad cars, 4 officers, our neighbors' faces pressed to glass, some ducking, some staring watched, as the police took one look at Nami still quivering and then at us. The head cop, Officer Gallagher, mustache, permanent scowl, big guy, went straight to her. She pointed at us. Them, officer, it was them. He didn't even glance our way, just asked for IDs like we were trespassers, not residents. Dad kept his cool. My wallet's in my pocket. May I reach for it slowly? He narrated every move like he was defusing a bomb. Gallagher barely looked at the license. You, ma'am, he said to me. I handed mine over. Grandpa, still catching his breath, croaked, My wallet's inside on the table. Is this really necessary? She assaulted me. Gallagher ignored that, just demanded his ID again, treating my 80-year-old grandfather like a suspect. Dad tried reasoning. Officer, she came onto my property, accused me of theft, assaulted my father. Gallagher just grunted. She says one of you pushed him, says you were arguing, says you got physical. I couldn't hold it in. That's a lie. She's lying. Gallagher's eyes narrowed. Ma'am, lower your voice. You're not helping your case. My case. On my own porch. Then for the first time, the younger officer, Chen, stepped in. Maybe we should check the package. Finally, a logical suggestion. The label Arthur Dubois, 126 Willow Creek Lane. Evidence. But Gallagher just shrugged. So it's got your name. That doesn't prove anything. My dad's composure cracked. It's a package addressed to me, delivered to my house, which I own. What more do you need? Gallagher leaned in. It's he said, she said. Ms. Vance, here's the head of the HOA. Respected member. She felt threatened. Nami stood off to the side, arms crossed, looking like the cat that ate the canary. Dad decided enough was enough. I want to press charges for assault. That got Gallagher's attention. He scoffed. You want to press charges? She'll file one too. And with a scene like this, 3 of you, 1 of her, who do you think a judge is going to believe? It was a threat plain as day. And when the power play started slipping, Gallagher went for the kill shot. There's a lot of confusion here. Conflicting stories. Alleged assault. We're going to take this package into evidence. I stared at him, floored. Evidence? Evidence of what? But arguing meant risking arrest. And Dad knew it. He nodded, tight-lipped, letting them take the box away, his dream, my gift, confiscated like contraband. My gift. Nami watched, smiling that cold, hard smile of someone who knows the game is rigged. When the police left, the neighborhood quieted. But it wasn't peace. It was defeat. Our humiliation was now public. Dad stood staring at the empty space where his lathe had been, shoulders slumped, pride gutted. Grandpa just shook his head, tears tracking down lines worn by decades of fighting for the right to stand on his own porch. And then, just when I thought we could maybe breathe, a hand-delivered letter from the HOA showed up. $500 fine, mandatory mediation, threat of a lien if we didn't comply. Nami's version now official, aggressive behavior, necessary police intervention. I almost laughed at how absurd it was, but the joke's always on us, isn't it? But here's the twist, right? 2 years back, after some minor mail theft, I'd convinced Dad to install a doorbell camera. We'd forgotten all about it until that night. But when we checked there, it was every moment, every word, every shove. Nami's assault, Dad catching Grandpa, me screaming at her, all of it in high def. That changed everything. We started digging online through old HOA complaints, community forums. Turns out we weren't the first. A Latino family, a same-sex couple, an Indian family. all driven out by Nami and her clique, all with eerily similar stories. And Gallagher, turns out, he had a history too, article after article about over-policing and aggressive conduct in minority neighborhoods. We gathered our evidence, laid it out like a battle plan, and sent it all doorbell video HOA notice past complaints to the ACLU. And then we waited. 3 days later, an email arrived. Officer Chen had quietly filed a supplemental report and logged his body cam footage. That same day, the ACLU got back to us. We are prepared to represent you. The fallout was instant. The HOA dropped the fine, canceled mediation, and forced Nami to resign. A for sale sign sprouted in her yard overnight. As for the police officer, Gallagher was placed on leave while internal affairs dug through every frame of body cam footage and every past complaint. Dad's lathe, after nearly a month, was returned to us by the police captain himself, who looked about as happy to be there as I was to see him. But victory, if you can call it that, felt bittersweet. For every family like ours who manages to fight back, there are dozens who don't. Folks who leave without ever getting justice, who lose their homes and their peace because someone like Nami decides they don't belong. So yeah, we're still here. Dad's in the garage learning his new lathe. Grandpa's laugh is coming back bit by bit. But the war for places like Willow Creek isn't over, not by a long shot. This could happen to anybody. So document everything, know your rights, and never let them tell you you don't belong in your own home. Let's get the comments going. What would you have done? Is this justice? How do you fight back when the system's stacked against you? Drop your thoughts below, because this story isn't just ours. It's happening everywhere, and silence only helps the people who want to keep things exactly as they are.